Imagine you're deep in the woods, the campfire crackling, telling stories with your best friends. Suddenly, a twig snaps in the darkness. You tell yourself it's just an animal, but a cold dread begins to creep up your spine. For four friends in Blackwood Forest, Montana, the dread became a reality they would never escape. This is the story of their final terrifying night. On August 9th, 2003, four college students, Liam, Maya, Chloe, and Ben, drove into the dense, ancient woods of Blackwood Forest for a weekend camping trip. They were experienced hikers looking for one last adventure before the summer ended. They packed their gear, their tents, and a small camcorder to document their trip. They would never be seen again. Weeks turned into months, and the search parties eventually gave up, concluding the friends had likely gotten lost and succumbed to the elements. The case went cold, another tragic story swallowed by the unforgiving wilderness. But a year later, a group of forestry workers stumbled upon a grim discovery. Hidden beneath the ashes of a burnt-out tent, caked in mud and dirt, was a single, remarkably preserved camcorder. What was on that tape would turn a missing persons case into one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in Montana's history. The footage begins just as you'd expect. Laughter, jokes, the four friends setting up their campsite. They film each other struggling with tent poles, mock-interviewing each other about their survival skills. The sun sets, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. As darkness falls, they gather around a roaring campfire. The mood is light, carefree. They're just kids enjoying the moment, completely unaware of what's lurking just beyond the firelight. But then, the atmosphere shifts. Around the 45-minute mark of the tape, Liam, who's holding the camera, suddenly goes quiet. He zooms in on the dense tree line. "Did you guys hear that?" he whispers. The others fall silent. A faint, rhythmic tapping can be heard, like wood striking wood. It's distant, but distinct. Chloe nervously jokes it's a woodpecker working a night shift, but her laughter is strained. The tapping stops. For a few minutes, there's only the sound of their own anxious breathing and the crackle of the fire. Then it happens. At 11:47 p.m., according to the timestamp on the camera, Maya gasps and points toward the trees. "What is that?" she says, her voice trembling. Liam swings the camera in that direction. At first, you can't see anything but the impenetrable wall of darkness, but as he adjusts the zoom, a faint light flickers to life deep within the woods. It's not a flashlight beam. It's a soft, pulsating glow, moving erratically between the trunks. Ben, ever the skeptic, grabs a heavy-duty flashlight and aims it toward the light. "Probably just other campers," he says, trying to sound confident. But as his powerful beam cuts through the darkness, it reveals something that silences them all. For a split second, caught in the edge of the light, a figure is visible. It's impossibly tall, unnaturally thin, and seems to move without making a sound. It's not an animal. It's not human. It's a silhouette, a shadow that seems to absorb the light rather than reflect it. Before anyone can process what they've seen, it vanishes back into the blackness. Panic sets in. The footage becomes chaotic, shaky. You hear panicked whispers. "What was that? Did you see it?" Liam keeps the camera pointed at the woods, his hand trembling. The strange light is gone, but the feeling of being watched is overwhelming. They decide to pack up and leave. Right now. But as they scramble to take down their tents, the tapping sound returns, closer this time, and from multiple directions. They're surrounded. The camera is dropped, pointing at the ground. You hear frantic rustling, the zip of a tent, and then a blood-curdling scream from Chloe. The camera is snatched up again, swinging wildly. In the chaos, it captures glimpses of more of those silent, towering silhouettes, now standing just at the edge of their campsite, motionless, watching. They don't approach. They just stand there, like ancient sentinels of the forest. Then comes the most terrifying part of the recording. Ben, in a moment of sheer terror or desperate bravery, shines the flashlight directly at one of the figures. It doesn't flinch. It doesn't move. It's just there. And then someone, maybe Liam, whispers the 5 words that have haunted everyone who has ever seen this footage. Don't look up. But he does. The person holding the camera, against this desperate warning, slowly pans upwards. Past the top of the impossibly tall figure, past the canopy of the ancient trees, and into the night sky. And the sky is wrong. The stars aren't twinkling. They're swirling, moving in a slow, hypnotic vortex, like water draining from a basin. The center of this celestial whirlpool is a patch of absolute, featureless black. It's a hole in the sky. This is where the official story collides with something even stranger. On that same night, August 9th, 2003, NORAD and several private satellite companies reported a bizarre anomaly. A brief, unexplained blackout occurred in their observational data, localized to a small, specific area. That area was directly over Blackwood Forest, Montana. The official explanation was a momentary equipment malfunction, a glitch in the system. But the timing is too perfect to be a coincidence. The final seconds of the tape are pure, unfiltered terror. A low, humming sound begins to build, seemingly coming from everywhere at once. The camera shakes violently, and the last image recorded is a blinding flash of white light, engulfing everything. Then, static. The tape ends. The 4 friends were gone. Their campsite was burned, but investigators found no accelerant, suggesting a fire of unnatural, intense heat. Their belongings, except for the buried camcorder, were missing. No bodies were ever recovered. No footprints other than their own were found. It was as if they, and everything they brought with them, were simply erased from existence. What happened to Liam, Maya, Chloe, and Ben in Blackwood Forest? Were they victims of a terrestrial predator we don't yet understand? Or did they stumble upon something not of this world, something that watches from the trees and hides in the empty spaces between the stars? The buried camcorder is the only witness, and its silent, terrifying testimony leaves us with more questions than answers. It serves as a chilling reminder that there are still dark, unexplored corners of our world, and sometimes the most terrifying thing you can do is look up. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as chilling as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into the unknown. And please, be safe out there. You never know what's watching from the woods.